What's going on, patriots, patriots, and the rest of you slack-jawed bastards? And I think we're all aware of that big monstrosity over 2,700 pages that just got signed into law. Most of you don't know the full implications of it. I haven't even had time to sit down and read all the deadgum thing my own self, so I'm not even aware of all the full implications of it. But I tell you what, just doing some skimming and whatnot, I definitely feel that corner closing in a little bit. Just got a little bit closer. Walls just come in just a little bit closer. And one of the things that we've talked about as far as our preparedness goes is a spiritual preparedness. You need to be prepared spiritually, mentally, physically, and you need to have your supplies squared away. I never really talked about spiritual preparedness, but there's a lot of individuals out there, religious individuals. I'm not saying I'm not religious. I am. But one thing that kind of really ticks me a little bit is a lot of these pastors out there that are, preach nothing but turn the other cheek and pacifism. And especially some of my own family members, they want to quote from Matthew when Jesus and the disciples were in the Garden of Gethsemane. They where the high priest and his servants and all that, they all basically come and took him off to the council and ultimately crucified him. And they want to talk about when Simon Peter took his sword out and cut off the ear of that fellow, and Jesus told him, put a sword up. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. So let's actually look at that as far as part of our spiritual preparedness. So let's just actually look at it here. Let's analyze this a little bit here. Matthew 26. We'll start at 51. And behold, one of them which were with Jesus stretched out his hand and drew his sword, and struck the servant of the high priest, and smote off his ear. And Jesus said unto him, put up again thy sword in his place. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. That's what I get quoted all the time when it comes to this pacifism. Well, let's look at some of the other viewpoints here. Some of the other perspectives of that same incident. That was Matthew. Let's look at Mark. I believe it's in chapter 14. Let's boogie on down here. Uh-oh. Where'd it go? There we go. Let's see here. And one of them that stood by drew a sword and smote the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. And Jesus answered and said unto them, are ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves to take me? I was daily with you in the temple teaching, and ye took me not, but the scriptures must be fulfilled. Let's check out Luke. See what Brother Luke got to say about it. And one of them smote the servant of the high priest and cut off his right ear. And Jesus, let me back up just one more. Here we go. We'll start at 49. When they which were about him saw what would follow, they said unto him, Lord, shall we smite them with our sword? And one of them smote the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. And Jesus answered and said, suffer ye thus far? And he touched his ear and healed them. And then Jesus said unto the chief priests and captains of the temple and the elders which were come to him, be ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves? When I was daily with you in the temple, ye stretched forth no hands against me, but this is your hour and the power of darkness. All right, let's read John here. It's going to be in John 18. Then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew and smote the high priest's servant, and cut off his right ear, and the servant's name was Malchus. And Jesus said unto Peter, Put up thy sword in its sheath. The cup which my Father hath given me, shall I not drink it? Now, it seems to me that once you actually take a broader look at that situation that most of these individuals want to use to preach this pacifism and turn the other cheek and non-resistance, we shall say, and use that for their anti-gun sentiments and whatnot, because your rifles, your pistols, your firearms are that's your modern day sword. So that one little verse that they use to try to justify all this is just, in my opinion, hogwash. It's a red herring. Because if Jesus would have went on ahead, he said he could have called down a multitude, a legion of angels, 12 legions of angels. If he didn't want to be led off and crucified, it wouldn't have happened. But he was there on a mission. And he told his disciples to put their swords away. Because if they fought it out, he could not have fulfilled prophecy. He could not have become the lamb that he was sent here to be, to provide salvation for you, for me, and for everybody else that would basically accept him into their hearts. Now let's look a little bit farther here, and let's see what Jesus said about the sword in further above in Luke 22. This is Luke 22:36. Then say he unto them, But now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment, and buy one. For I say unto you, that this that is written must yet be accomplished in me. And he was reckoned among the transgressors, for things concerning me have an end. And they said, Lord, behold, here are 2 swords. And he said unto them, It is enough. He instructed his disciples to arm themselves. I guess you have a duty to protect yourself. Otherwise, why would he have instructed his disciples to arm themselves? Now, I'm not going to try to go into any conclusions or try to lead you along. I want you to go through and try to figure that one out on your own, as far as why he would have instructed his disciples to arm themselves. Here's another one I want to read from you, from Matthew chapter 10. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him I will confess also before my Father which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him I will also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Here we go. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I am not come to send peace, but a sword. That was Matthew 10:34. So, I'm not some sort of religious scholar. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything. But, you know, one thing I do know is some of these pacifists, they've really got it twisted. They really do. I mean, I guess that's really what happens whenever you try to read verses and not books. You know, like I said, I'm not trying to sit up here and act like I know it and I'm some sort of expert. But whenever people use that one specific verse for preaching pacifism, you know, it kind of gives me the red ass. I'm not a pacifist. You know, when my back gets backed into that corner, I'm coming out. And I'm going to make it the least pleasant experience to the individuals responsible for putting me there. And I'm not going to have a guilty conscience about it. I'm not going to have a guilty conscience of having firearms and using them when necessary to defend myself or my family or my country. Y'all have a good one.